Hi everyone, my name is Maor and welcome to my YouTube channel. This subject or the topic of this video is going to be about polyamorous relationships. Everything that I know from my 8 years experiencing in that. The pros, the cons, the good and the bad. The challenges that people that go this way might actually face. So, stay tuned. I have been waiting for such a long time to make this video. And that is because, different forces in my life don't like me talking about this type of subjects. But I also waited in order to mature as an individual that has experienced both worlds. As an adult and as an adolescent, playing around with it, what we call the fuck buddy system. And I really want to talk about the difference between an open relationship first and one that supports polyamoric relationships. In other words, multiple loves. Amor. An open relationship is usually in the end or of a dying relationship when individuals choose to go and spend time with other people. It's not about having more love, polyamor, An open relationship is usually when a relationship is already dying, but they're still confined by their marriage. They have certain attachments, they don't want to let each other go, either because they have children or there's money involved or a mutual business and stuff like that. So they're pretty much not together and they allow each other to spend time with other people, but not in a way that creates another relationship. Now, an open relationship with love is actually called a polyamorous relationship. Some people call it polyamoric. Okay, depends on your accent, I guess. So a polyamorous relationship usually is comprised from one major relationship, also called your main relationship, with another person. Now, this other person is not just your lover. This other person is involved with you in an open and honest and everybody knows about relationship. In other words, you can maybe living with your first partner and be, going out with your other partner. Maybe some people, which is more rare, usually have only two, like one main one and one secondary one. Other people may have even more, 3 or 4. Or other people don't even limit themselves. They want to say, okay, but I want to have a one-night stand with someone and I want to be connected. Now, there's pros and there's cons. Some of the pros are that you are engaged with other people. So there is that sensation of I'm capable of choosing whatever it is that I want, and I still have that affection and passion that, we love that first kiss, or the time that people are, in the beginning of the relationship, the falling in love part, which is something that is amazing. But there's also the cons. The cons, for example, are the challenges. Masculine challenges are usually ego-related. Men are usually like children. They don't like to admit, but there's a huge ego when your girlfriend or when your spouse goes with somebody else. The question comes up, how was he in bed? Is he better than I am? Is his thingy bigger than mine? And stuff like that. That's one of the challenges for men. Now, some of the challenges for women is the feeling of insecurity. Now, of course, this is a generalization. There can be, both sides can experience both of these, but this is what I've noticed from talking to different people, from understanding from my own experience. So women, it will be the insecurity. Why? It's the program that we've been taught that you should be with one person and that person should take care of you. Both sexes have their own challenges in that. The feeling of insecurity, the fear of abandonment, the fear of them not good enough, so why should they go with other people? But polyamorous relationships can also be the solution for some people's problems. For example, each and every one of us has a different frequency and libido, the amount of sex that we actually want to have in our life. And this again is all about the sexual desire and not necessarily about the relationship. Because if you probably understand, being with one person is crazy enough. So why would you want to be with 2 people? Why would you want to go and have 2 sets of parents that you need to meet? Or twice amount of sex and stuff like that. So some people, they need that. Some people want to have sex every day and their partner doesn't want that much. So what they do is they find another partner, which everybody agrees upon, and it's better if everybody knows each other as well. If you don't do that, then it's called cheating. So in the world of loving multiple relationships, there is no such thing as cheating because everybody's supposed to know about everybody else. And if your partner is not telling you that he went with his girlfriend or with his other girlfriend, then it's not a true polyamoric relationship. Okay, it's not true. It's just a regular, he just wants to be with somebody else, and he's kind of like teasing you about that, and he's not honest. Now, a true this type of relationship is complete honesty. All the cards are on the table, and everybody can see everything. So, the challenges except for the emotions that we need to surpass or work on, the challenges can be quite frightening. In other words, you don't know if the other person is going to leave you, and sometimes you're afraid about that. The reason why we are exploring this concept is because humanity has reached the age of the individual, and what we can see is that we want more choices. It doesn't necessarily mean that more choices is a good thing, but we perceive that better choices and more choices are better for us. You will notice that 30, 40 years ago, people didn't get divorced at all. Why? Because they didn't have a lot of choice. They knew that their loved one loves them, and they were willing to compromise in order to marry, just because the frame of mind of everybody was that you have to get married and get a job. And they didn't replace their job, and they didn't have a lot of different jobs to choose from. Today, we change our partners quite quickly when we are until the age of about 30. Afterwards, the divorce rate is going up even as I speak. It's about 50%. When I was younger, it was about 30%. So we want more choices, and we want to become more of ourselves. In other words, we want to be who we are, and that kind of contradicts being with somebody else, because that actually means that in some way, we need to let go and to please and be something that we are not. So in order to sustain this type of relationship, you have to have two highly conscious individuals. Now, let's talk about why we should try something like this. First, like we said, it's a solution in case one person wants to have more intimacy and sexual relationship than others. There is the part about love and the challenge. We want to go beyond what is normal. We want to explore strange new worlds. So when we understand that we want other people, and it's okay, it's normal to want and to desire other people. So why would somebody limit us? If somebody loves us and we want to be with somebody else, why would somebody choose to limit us in any way? Do you understand? And once again, I'll just repeat this for clarification. I am not saying that these type of relationships are good or bad. That is just a dual way of thinking. I'm giving you everything that I've learned and everything that I've seen, experienced by myself truly, and by other people that are close to me. Some relationships work this way, most don't. Most blow up. Mine blew up, and I had about 5 or 6 different relationships. Now, it depends also on the age of the woman that I dated. I once dated a woman that was 8 years younger than me, and she was open-minded, and she didn't have that rush, the rush of the biological clock that expects us to eventually get married and eventually have kids. And she was all about that, but she didn't like it eventually. She thought, in the beginning, she said, yes, I want to, let's try it, why not? And it was more to impress me of her open-mindedness. But eventually, what happened is that she became overly jealous, and she didn't want to admit it. But I went and I was with my ex for the weekend, and everybody knew about it. And she kept calling me the entire weekend and asked me to leave her and do all these type of things. So she thought that she could, but she actually couldn't. So, for example, I had this argument with my wife when we just started dating. Because when we started dating, I saw that she's going towards monogamy. And that was just in the beginning. And I was still playing around. And as far as she was concerned, being in this type of relationship, an open relationship or polyamorous relationship, it means that we are giving in to our most primitive animal instincts. In other words, we are thinking with our dicks, and it's something that mostly men do. And I came to her and I said quite the opposite. This is about spiritual progress. This is about seeing what we want and understanding that we can have everything, and understanding that if nobody gets hurt, this can actually be ideal. Do you understand what I'm saying? It can actually be that everybody's enjoying it. Now, don't think about you going with somebody else and that somebody thinks that he's in a monogamous relationship with you. No. Think about what if the whole world would have been like this. And it would be common that people would have more than one boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse, or wife, or anything like that. Now, it's hard for us to grasp this because we really think about one house, one couple. They have kids. How are the kids going to take this? Because we have this concept that this is the way that it should be, because we have been programmed by hundreds and thousands of years of evolution of religions that has taught us that this is the right way because they wanted to control us, okay, in some way. Now, when you let go of the limiting beliefs, it will require too highly conscious to reach this state. So it's not for everybody. And I can tell you from my own experience that I've failed time and time again. And it's not that, I just didn't find the right person for that. I do believe that it's achievable because I do have two close friends that have it working for them. And they have rules. And every partnership that wants this type of lifestyle should have rules. And this is talking from experience. One couple have a rule that they are never allowed to go and spend the night with the lover of one of them. Another couple, the woman doesn't want to be with other men and she allows her men to be with others. Now, one of the things that you might come up is like, that's unfair, that's unreasonable, but that's the way that they chose. And she loves him and she wants him to be happy. And he understands her side that she doesn't want to be with other people. Imagine how much love a person can have to another one that he says, okay, I'm going to give you that option, but I don't want that option to myself. So that is real, true, unconditional love. A beautiful example. And like I said, I failed multiple times. Most of the relationships that I had, about 3 or 4 of them over a course of many, many years, until I got married and became monogamous. And I have to tell you that I love it, because when you are in an open relationship or a polyamoric relationship, when you are arguing with someone, you can go and be with somebody else. In other words, you're not facing the problem. You cannot really deepen the relationship as much as you can when you have a monogamous relationship. When you know that there's no way, you can't escape, you have to face it. And marriage does that for us. Now, I'm not against marriage and I'm not pro-marriage or anything like that. If my wife wouldn't have wanted to get married, if it wasn't important for her, I wouldn't get married. But now, retroactively, I can tell you that that is the opinion of someone that lived 2 years ago inside myself. And I can tell you that I do see the advantages of commitment. When we limit ourselves, we can go deeper and dive deeper into our relationship. Understanding the conflicts, facing things together, not wanting to escape or making a backup of what we have. And, our sexual desires and our experience together, it just gets better and better each time. Because you don't have anything else to do, because you don't have anywhere else to go to or to escape to. So it's quite amazing. So, thank you very much for watching me, my friends. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, share it. If you want more of my content, go to www.maor.com and sign up to my newsletter, my friends. And of course, I will see you in my next video. Namaste.